Y'all, it's your girl Morgan Renee Myers tuning in with you all. I'm about to be packaging some herbs and seeds. Y'all know I be saving my seeds, and you should too. And so I have a lot of those, and I want to kill two birds, one stone. Lord, we ain't gotta kill birds, but yeah. So I got some seed packets in. I need to get some more of my logo stickers printed out, and I have my label maker here so that I can keep up with what seed is what and the year. And these little seed packets, I'm gonna put a good amount of seeds inside of each of them. And so this is going to be a tedious process. Could take up to an hour or more because I got so many seeds. So we're about to get into it. And for those that don't know, I have a poetry book called The Celibacy Chronicles. It features 13 different artists. This is their couture's work out of the Fuquay Varina area in North Carolina. And then I have 12 other artists, most of which are from North Carolina or live in, and one is from the Atlanta area. And so I'm so grateful to them for being a part of this project. It just wouldn't have been the same without them. Let me see if I could slow down and show y'all real fast because they're amazing. But this book turns 5. I wrote it in 2017, so this Friday, December 9th, the book turns 5 years old, and I am having an artist and author listening party slash talk back. This is Dalen Owens' work for my self-love piece. And so we're going to listen about 5 or 6 poems per night. Is this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 7 to 10 p.m. at the East White Oak Community Center in Greensboro, North Carolina. This is by Tayamika Mabry for my poem Sangria Sorrows, Wine Glass with a Lady in It. Yeah, so we're gonna get together, celebrate. It's gonna be celebrating my birthday early. It's gonna be celebrating me going off on my traveling and off grid journey. And so I am super thankful. This is Lady Picasso for my poem Incompatibility. I'm so grateful for all of these artists. I hope to have some of their prints for you guys with my poem and their picture. This is The Black Hole by Caroline. Lord, look like my battery about to die over there. So yeah, anywho, we're gonna be listening to the audiobook while I package these seeds up so that y'all can get a taste. You can also go listen on disctopia.com, DISCTOPIA. They are a black owned streaming app, just like Apple or Spotify or whatever y'all listen to podcasts and stuff on. So yeah, just this is an amazing project to have created. My community came together. I had a sister that did waist beads when the book came out. I had a brother that did poetry pens, different pens that you could wear on your shirt and stuff to correlate with the book. Like I said, the feature artist. So we're gonna get up and we're gonna be talking about their experience, my experience, and about the book. So, but first, let me get into what I'm about to package. So this is some lemon balm. That was a herb that I got from the garden that I had dried out, and then I just took it and I was crushing it up. So now I need to put it in a container. So we're gonna do that, and then I have let's just do that first. And while I'm doing this, we're gonna start the book, okay? And I'm gonna drop the link when I get done so y'all can go check it out on Dystopia. So this first poem is called Tipsy.
Nip slips,
Can y'all hear?
French kiss, words drip with lusty leaks. Stimulated by the eardrums and heartbeats, 2 dogs in heat, one an alpha male, the other a bitch, because he's already claimed a lady, but he's engaged in this moment, licking his lips at you. You feed into his bowl of mixed emotions, his words and thoughts provoking. You promise to simmer down, but right now he's stroking your ego, reminding you what your luscious lips are known for. Don't be a whore, you tell yourself, as you mentally undress. You remember the party punch, the reason he and you are even acting this way. You're influenced. Throughout the years, you and him wouldn't normally do this, bodily fluids begging to be released. You know you have the means to please, but you can't get the picture of her smile and her ring out of your head, so you charge this moment to both of his heads and not his heart. Sometimes you just want to be your true self, minus the spirit, but keep the flesh. Through the daily agendas and commitments, you just want to relax in the comfort of friendship. And having the festivities end with a nightcap doesn't sound so bad, but instead you text and you laugh and you wordplay and you sober up and you drive away without anything to say the next day. Because you can't change a freak, but she can have self-control and not allow herself to mess up another woman's home.
Oh, okay. Let's pause to the next song. Hold on. We ain't ready for the next one.
Self-love sometimes
All right. So y'all get the gist. So that's what this weekend is gonna be like. We're gonna be listening to the poems. I'm gonna be giving my feedback. So that poem was called Tipsy. I'm trying to do two things at once. What is this? Lemon balm. That poem was called Tipsy. And so at my talk back or my celebration of this book, let me just set the book up properly. Y'all go check me out. I got an Instagram page, The Celibacy Chronicles. It's on Amazon for $15. You can purchase hard copies for $20. It'll be signed. I can ship it to you as well. But yeah, so like with that particular poem, I ain't about to do the whole breaking down because that's what this weekend is for. But I would talk to you guys about like what inspired me to write it, what was on my mind. Yeah, but I wanted to. So this is lemon balm, some dried lemon balm that I had growing in the garden that I've since dried out and now crushed up and put into this little jar. I love this for me. This is how you start your apothecary. Okay, so now moving on before we get into the next poem of the book on the audio book. I have some basil seeds here. Let me show you what's so cool. Uh-oh. Hold on, I got stuff stuck. I got seeds on top of seeds, y'all. That's why I said, let me come on here and let us listen to this audiobook while I'm de-seeding this stuff. So I ain't just sitting in the camera de-seeding it with no action going on. Okay, so I don't know how good y'all can see. I'm on 3 devices. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and my YouTube. But this is what the basil plant, when it starts to flower, if it's too much sunlight or too much warmth on it and it needs cool temperatures or whatever, it'll start to bolt or reproduce. And so these pods right here is what contains the seeds. And so they'll start off real green. They'll even have like some little white flowers on them and stuff. But then eventually, if you let them sit or if you take them off and dehydrate them or just let them dry out naturally, they'll form these very kind of rustic pods. And so what I do is, you may not be able to see it, and I don't want to move all my devices, but I'm going to try the best I can. I just really touch it with my hand to get these pieces off. And inside of each one of these little petal looking things are the seeds. So I don't know if y'all can see that, but these little black things came right straight out of me just twisting the pod. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to separate the seed from the debris on this plate, and we're going to get into and then we're going to package them in our seed packets and label them and sell them to people and save some for ourselves. So the next poem is called Self-Love. Let's get into it.
Self-love sometimes looks like crying in bathtubs as you scroll down your timeline and see nothing but inspirational quotes and black love. Staring in mirrors and giving yourself a hug. Looking, listening, listing all of your flaws, then smiling because you can either improve or sulk about them. Self-love looks like not being nervous every month if you're pregnant because you're celibate. And you can clearly count how many cycles you had since you last went to bed. Self-love looks like not associating with drama. On TV, in real life, in your home, you value yourself enough to not just hold on to hurt out of comfort. You'd rather be alone. Self-love looks like writing this poem. After having shied away from writing and releasing, it's a healing medium. Feels like freedom. Self-love looks like turning off electronics and tuning in. Deep breathing. Believing. Self-love sometimes looks selfish because you choose to stay in the house reflecting instead of in the club dancing or on your phone responding to reckless text messages. Self-love looks like taking care of your health. mental, spiritual, physical, emotional. It looks like accepting constructive criticism and not taking offense. Self-love looks like when I see you, I see me. Somehow we're connected intricately. Out of all the places to be on the planet, it's in your presence I'm standing. So this moment has to be a part of my plan of personal growth and expansion. Self-love sounds like music. Can y'all hear the audio grooving, highways to new places with many stops along the way. And sceneries never seen but felt immediately. It's therapy, sharing, daring yourself to get over yourself so you can be your true self and reflect that energy, that God within you that is also within me.
Thank you, Zoe.
Sometimes self-love sounds like silence.
Appreciate it.
Quieting our minds, putting the past behind us, learning from lessons, counting your blessings, and through all the trials, not stressing. It's getting in the flow, reading a good book, feeling inspired, transforming your mind. Self-love is a requirement before dating and marriage. It becomes apparent some internal work is needed to propel. Self-love sometimes looks like working for yourself. Self-love is honest and true. How can you love everyone else and forget about the most important person? You.
All right, let's pause that. So that's self-love, the second poem in the book. And it's pretty self-explanatory, right? We need to love ourselves more. And so that's one of the things that when I wrote this book in 2017 and the journey that I was on then, and I'm going to talk about this more at the celebration. So it is this Friday, December 9th, Saturday the 10th, and Sunday the 11th at the East White Oak Community Center from 7 to 10 p.m. And I'm going to be discussing like what led me up to writing this book and going on that journey, because it was just so necessary. The time I was in my life, and even still, I'm still learning and evolving and growing to know myself, my boundaries, all of that every day. It's a daily practice. I still don't feel all the way there yet, wherever all the way there is. But I knew for sure that I needed some more self-love. I need to be taking care of myself better. I need to have better boundaries, and not just let people treat me any kind of way and then get mad when they do. And it's like, well, you've been allowing it, so that's what they expect. And now you're trying to switch up and have some confidence in yourself and be just create new rules that they're not used to adhering to. And so, yeah, that was important for me to get to know and love myself and what I felt like that looked like. But the book gets juicier, baby. So let's keep playing. So these basil seeds might take me a good little minute. They're very small and it's very tedious to have to separate. And this is probably why a lot of people aren't doing this. I can't say a lot of people aren't, but this is why I promote it being done, because this is one of them things you could do as a group project with your family and friends too. Saving some seeds, because clearly, look, where's Zoe at? Look, where my volunteers? Where my volunteers at now? Trying to get these all packaged up for I leave at the end of the month. And it's a lot of seeds. I got more. I got cantaloupe. I got watermelon. It's all good. We're gonna make it work. Okay. Sorry, I'm adjusting my phone for the YouTube so it can be charging while we're live. All right. Easy with the group now. It definitely is easier with a group. It's so much easier with a group. Okay, so we about to get into the third poem, which is one of my favorites. It's called Sangria Sorrows. And I relate to this poem more and more every time I listen to it. It's one of my favorites because I typically don't do a lot of metaphorical type writing. I'm usually like very straightforward in what I'm talking about. It's not hard to decipher, which is why I feel like my material is so relatable. Once you hear it, it's like, oh, okay, I could feel her emotion, or I've been through that, or it ain't no guessing. And not to say that poems written in a more metaphorical sense are any less better. It's just for me, sometimes I ain't trying to hear all that. What you saying? Give it to me clear. Give it to me straight. So this next one, I actually played around with what is not my normal style of writing, and it turned out great. I used a comparison of Sorry, y'all. I used the comparison of alcohol and my emotions to make a bomb poem. Okay. One day I'm gonna have a camera crew and all this extra ain't gonna be. All right, so let's go into the third poem, Sangria Sorrows.
Sipping fermented grape juice to ease the pain, to stop the mind from focusing on things unwanted, soothing to a soul so free it easily gets taken advantage of, especially after one too many cups. Yet, it's harder being sober sometimes, dealing with realities and lies, hidden behind the eyes of truth standing in front of you. Why do we bring drama to our loved ones? Here's a toast to the real ones who have fussed me out, got great sleep, and still was able to talk with me about me. Learn where we both needed to grow and mutually decide whether communication could cease.
So fragrant.
Let's pour this down the drain for all those stolen moments and memories when you didn't know how to say the things you needed to. You found your words now, and I don't know how, but I just don't feel the same way about me and you then as I do now. Values and drinking don't correlate. I've just been thinking. I don't know if moving forward can replace the grapes that have already soured and won't make this next batch. The taste too off-putting for sangria connoisseurs. I've been here before. Oceans of tears and wanting you near, but now I realize you're fighting your little boy. And we're using each other as an escape. That's why we can relate. But these grapes are so sour now. Think it's time we put the glasses down, pretend we're past it, and go separate ways. Dirty wine stains. The party has ended. It's after 2 a.m. and this bottle is empty.
Lord have mercy. Damn phone. Well, that's that. I'm gonna just keep letting it roll. These basil seeds taking me a minute.
Love. You wouldn't do the same, so why would I catch a grenade for some emotion that I live on in vain? Veins are signs of memory. I'm not free from myself. I attempted to give you my all, but you left. From the very beginning, I thought I loved you, blinded by the mirage of it, obviously. Wishing wells were meant for bedazzled princesses to hope and dream at their broken complexes. Well, I'm wished upon by this feeling of incompatibility. Because for some reason, I'm not that captivating, really. This feeling wishes to destroy me and tear me down. Blindfold me, cover my ears and mouth so that I make no sound. Incompatibility wishes upon me the feeling of resent, so that every time I recall a historic emotion, I repent. It leaves me wandering with no source of connection in sight, no one to reboot my battery when the charge gets low, no one to hold my hand when the tides get slow, no one to stand between me and God, no one to appreciate my thickness, which can be toned up in different places, no one who places me on any type of pedestal, no one who looks at me for my character and not my assets, 'cause ass and titties is always best. I just want what every other girl wants, to be loved. And yes, I know it's too much to ask, and that's why I don't hold back. I see love and I cannot exist simultaneously. Not in a world where I can't make up my mind what's right for me. When I choose to be the center of abuse and then attempt to stop cold turkey. 1 minute I'm sexing some girl's man, forced to be a part of the 20%, while she's still a part of the 80%, yet I intend to become someone's 100. The next minute I'm in wait of a blessing. Not so much looking, but hoping very much that just for once the tables will turn in favor of me, from a love and misery to one of compatibility.
Okay. That's that one.
And out of my womb flowed you, my seed, I'd been so terrified that you survived, fertilized, a living, breathing self growing inside, pushing aside hips, stretching my outsides, nipples tender. I remember praying. No, pleading, no milk would start leaking, was bloated, scarred psychologically, felt like my stomach was housing a ball for bowling. All my shirts felt too tight. I looked locked and loaded. That glorious day came, late or on time, I don't know. 13th day of the month, I thank you. You tortured me no more. Relief at this release left me overjoyed. No babies on this board, at least not yet. Done scared myself pregnant.
Woo. Can we sit and pause on that one for a second? Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but ever since I was 16 and started doing the zoo, every nervous I be month. I mean, every nervous I be month. Every month I be nervous, whether I was on birth control or not, whether we was using protection or not. I was just always, always, always nervous. I just didn't have peace. So when my first celibacy journey, because I'm on a new one now, but my first celibacy journey, I just was so at peace as the months went on. Like, yeah, I was wanting intimacy and, dealing with being disciplined and fully immersed in the celibacy. But it was just like, I knew for a fact I wasn't going to be pregnant this month because I hadn't done that. And that's a darn shame. It took going celibate to be sure. Because you just never know. All of that stuff, even though it's preventative maintenance, it ain't 100% guaranteed to work. At least that's what they tell us. So I could be on this birth control, I could use this condom, and I could still end up with a baby in 9 months. So yeah, I will say that was one upside to practicing celibacy. And so for those that ask or are wondering, yes, no, I was celibate for like a year and 6 months. I haven't been celibate for these last 5 years. I'm not celebrating me being celibate for 5 years. I know somebody was like, "Oh, congratulations." I'm like, "No, baby. Let's be clear." I had to go back. I had to go back to the pain. I needed what I needed when I needed it. But now I'm back in another space where I'm putting it on hold because I just need the discipline and focus, and I got stuff to do, and that ain't it. That ain't where my focus lies at this moment. So it seems like I barely got many seeds, but that one little pod got me a good little amount of seeds. I'm going to just go ahead and break the rest of these on here. Okay, I think that one might not be no good. Just do the rest of these so we could be done with them. All right, let's move into the next poem. So that was Scared Pregnant. I'm going on to number 6. Track 6. What's track 6? The Get Up and Go. Uh-oh. Lord, the Get Up and Go.
You know the feeling when you're never being asked out, but you're always being asked to lay down on your back at their house behind their girlfriend's back? Well, if you don't know, it's not a good feeling. Momentarily, yes, I'm willing. But when something's in constant rotation, there's a time when it must end. And this spree of giving up my self-respect to men who only want to make a fantasy out of me is now over. Like that time I was coaxed into unprotected sexual intercourse yet again. This one was no friend. No connection, communication, background information. Just a cute dreadhead thugged out nigga at a house party. He was DJing, I was all up in his space. He was rubbing and caressing by end of the night all up in my face. Underneath the covers on a ripped blue couch. I asked that he use protection, but he never did. Erection pushing through tight closed walls that were ready but not so willing. The warmth of his girth in me didn't subside the fear of what I was participating in. Unprotected sex with a man whose last name I was unfamiliar with. Sexual past I had no recollection of. He told me not to worry, he wasn't gonna come in me. But I couldn't help but think, what type of brother is this? Is he intentionally giving me HIV or something worse? The part that hurt is when he did come inside of me, made my heart bleed. First time that's ever happened. I was shocked as he just placed his penis back in his pants and dipped. Flipped the covers over me as if the trash had been discarded. No more use of this easy target. I scrambled to wipe my vagina quickly before the semen began to seep. I know once sperm hits the surface, the cells die, but what about the ones inside me that were released? He didn't even quickly come out. He came and laid and waited in ecstasy. The morning after, a stranger